The minor adjustment.
The wardrobe adjustment. The hip attack.
With the medal.
With the tray.
The official didn't see it.
She had no idea, the official. Whoa!
What up, y'all? This your boy Ace here. And welcome to Afternoons Delight. Man, oh man, oh man. Toni Storm, bro. Timeless Toni Storm has been the hottest thing in AEW Womens Division right now, man. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, man. As we close this year, the AEW Women's Division is the best it's ever been since the creation of this creation of this company, bro. It was always been weird about AEW is that their women's division has been the most criticized out of all the women's divisions in the major pro wrestling promotions, and rightfully so. You know, when you look at the totality of all of the divisions, they did have probably the worst one for a while. You know, I just think the structure, the lack of time that the women get in the ring, all that stuff, it was just, I think the problem was they didn't find their identity yet either, which was a problem. Because when you know, and it's tough for new companies because, you know, you're trying to get things established, and obviously the men are more important, and so you're going to focus a little bit more on them. But I think that in due time, I do think the window started to open for AEW to finally get their women's division in cracked order. So, yeah, man, I'm so happy, man, because it was really time for the women's division to finally see some openings. And it all starts at the top with Toni Storm, because this whole wave of Toni Storm all started to me last year at Full Gear, right? So when she lost the title, they counted it as a real run, so because they're calling her a 3-time champion, and so they're not calling that an interim run at this point, you know. So she ended up, you know, losing the title that night to Jamie Hayter, who was on a wave. Like, Jamie Hayter was on a wave with the fans and everything. Everybody wanted her to win. I remember that. And I thought the right decision was made that night. I think Toni needed to lose. And Toni, I think, had a little small injury or whatever, and she took some time off. And I remember making a video right after Full Gear last year. So for those of y'all that are OGs on my channel, y'all remember this shit. I made a video literally last year talking about how I thought Toni Storm needed to turn heel. And I think I even put up a poll from last year. Now, I'm not going to scroll back and see what those results were, but I remember putting up a poll last year about turning Toni Storm heel. And I felt like she needed it. Like, I was paying attention to Toni's first year in AEW, and it started off good, and then I noticed that it just felt like she was going out there wrestling. It didn't feel like anything was motivating her. I think she was going through some depression as well, and it felt like she was just kind of spinning her wheels. She got the championship, but she didn't really earn it, and I just felt like she was just going through the motions, and she wasn't really happy, you know. And I felt like she just needed a character change, right? I just felt like she needed something different to do. I said she's going to take some time off. This is a great chance to repackage her a little bit and turn her heel. And boy, oh boy, I don't know if they listen to my channel or they're already planning on doing this, but salute to the person that made the decision, which is probably Tony Khan, to finally turn her heel, right? She comes back with Saraya. Now, Saraya, when she came out too, Saraya probably could have stayed a babyface, but I think turning her heel was a good thing too. And she turned heel with Saraya, and they formed the Outcast, and eventually got Ruby Soho in there. And I thought that Toni Storm started to hit this way. She looked better in the ring. Felt like she was happy again with the work she was doing. She was picking up a lot of wins, being booked better. And I felt like a lot of it was contributed to this heel turn that she had. And I felt like the Outcast was a good thing. The Outcast, to me, is the start of the slow build of the turnaround of this women's division. And even though I think they left a lot on the table with the Outcast and more things that they could have done with them, I still feel like the best thing that they did was forming that group, because it put Toni Storm in a place where she could blossom. And she just carried that way. She got the second title run during the summer, lost it again, and it gave them a chance to repackage her one more time. And boy, oh boy, in the AEW Women's Division, this is the best character gimmick they ever come up with for the women. And one of the best, even when you include the men, and that was this timeless Toni Storm character. Toni Storm, when you look at her, especially the way she wears her hair, she looks like she could have been fitted right into that 40s, 50s scene, Hollywood scene, you know what I mean? Or even the silent age, right? But she looks like Marilyn Monroe. And I remember before they really started, before they mentioned it for the first time on AEW television, there was quite a few people on the internet, some YouTubers, some just guys in the community on different sites, you know what I mean? And people were literally saying she looked like Marilyn Monroe. And I was like, man, she looked like Marilyn Monroe. Looks like a movie star from the back then. And they started playing it up. They started doing it with the shoe gimmick with Lexi Nair on Collision. And that thing became a whole big thing, man. That thing, people were loving that. Watch for the shoe. And it was just like Toni was starting to get into this character. And I remember seeing her at All Out. So the week after she kind of started her separation from Saraya and the Outcast, after Saraya won the women's title at All In. So the week after, I go to All Out in Chicago, right? Travel to Chicago to go see, watch it with my boy up there. And I remember seeing Toni Storm under the ring doing a Ruby Soho Chris Statlander match. And I was like, hey, this is funny right here. And she was doing her antics, but I saw how the crowd was drawn to Toni Storm. And then it just started to elevate. It's a grand slam. And I'm like, damn, they got something here with Toni Storm. And then sometimes you hear the crowd laughing at those backstage interview segments that they were doing with Toni Storm. And I felt like, oh, AEW got a winner here with Toni Storm. They got something with Toni Storm. They got to continue this. They got to make it even bigger, though. And they just kept on going. Toni Storm. And they recognized that, just like they did last year with Emi Storm, they recognized what needed to be done. And that was turning Toni Storm, putting Toni Storm back into the women's championship picture. I say you could easily do it. You just did it with Hikaru Shida, where she just won. And she beat Saraya. I say you could easily do this again. So, a full year forward, we get to full gear. Does she win the title? Let's go over how this match went. So, a short time later, Storm got a shoe from Luther and held it up, right? As she approached Shida, referee Aubrey Edwards took the shoe away. And I was watching this with my nephew. I'm recording this on Black Friday, so it's the day after Thanksgiving. I was watching this with my nephew yesterday. And we were getting on Aubrey Edwards for not recognizing the fact that Toni Storm had that damn metal plate. We'll talk about that when we get to that part of the match. So let's just get through this part right here. But she took the shoe away, right? So as Edwards was clearing the shoe from the ring, Storm pulled out another one and hit Shida with it, which led to a 2 count. We thought it would have been, that was a little bit earlier in the match, so that wouldn't have been a good spot to actually have Toni win. But Shida came back and hit Storm with her own Storm Zero move, right? And by the way, I think Toni Storm she didn't do the Storm Zero as the finisher. Yeah, from what I remember. And I think the decision on that was perfect. But she was too wary to make the cover, right? So Shida hit a Falcon Arrow a short time later for a near fall. Shida went up top and went for a Meteor. Shida rolled through when Storm avoided her. Shida came up selling a leg injury. Storm put Shida in an ankle lock. Shida reached the ropes. Storm removed Shida's shoe and tried to hit her with it, but Shida stuffed it. Shida hit Storm, and Shida's shoe went flying into the crowd, which was funny. Storm ended up at ringside. Shida grabbed her kendo stick and was going to hit Storm, right? But Luther stopped her. Shida actually beat the hell out of Luther with the kendo stick, like multiple times, just whacking this dude, right? Back in the ring, Shida went for a katana, but Storm blocked it and rolled her into a pin. But Shida reversed it for a near fall. Now, when I was going back watching this with my nephew, and I'm glad I did this, I'm glad I didn't record this video before I watched it with him, because we went back a number of times to see how the match ended, right? At one point, we were talking about, like, where did she get that metal, that old school metal frying pan, right? That little mini metal frying pan, right? We were trying to see where she got it at. I think she got it underneath the ring, or it was in the corner. Maybe Luther set it up there, but I don't remember seeing like how she got it, right? So we're about to get to that part right now. Storm blocked the knee strike. Storm executed a deadlift suplex. Storm placed a plate from the butler's tray in her tights, right? I'm thinking it was in the corner though. So she put it in her tights, and she had it. This is one of the funniest things ever, bro. This is why this gimmick is gold that Toni Storm has, and why people love it. Because her antics are funny as hell and very entertaining. So you're not just getting a match with Toni Storm. You're getting full entertainment. It was perfect for Hollywood, where they were at for this, at the fabulous Kia Forum in Inglewood, outside, outside of LAX, right there on the shadows of LAX, right there. And she put the plate up and she perked it up. Like, sometimes when women do those perk up things, she did that. She had to perk it up in her tights. And it was just funny the way she did it, man. Like her head nod with it. It was absolutely hilarious. So she does the hip attack with it in the corner. And that laid Shida out. That was perfect, bro. And we were trying to figure out how the hell did Aubrey Edwards not see this metal plate out of her ass, bro? How did she not see it? So she covered Shida for a 3 count for the win. And Hikaru Shida, that was all she wrote for her, as she lost in a little bit over 10 minutes. And Toni Storm is your new 3-time AEW Women's Champion, bro. I can't say enough about Toni Storm and this character. She has murdered this character, bro, in a good way. Just killed it. Just killed it. And the right decision was made, because I was saying she needs to win this title. She acts like a self-entitled queen with this gimmick. It'd be perfect to see someone try to chase her with it. I think she's perfect champ. I think it works for them, whether she has the championship or not. I don't think it matters either way if she has a championship or not. But it was great, because then after that, we're going to go into the next video talking about what happened with Mariah May, and she came out with the flowers and stuff. And one thing I want to know before I go into the poll real quick and closing my final thoughts is that I love the way they went into the black and white filter, how they've been doing that with Toni Storm. And the music was awesome for the moment, right? It felt like, sometimes when you watch beauty queens win their crown, right? Or win the title that year. That's what this felt like. This felt like a pageant type thing, and I loved it. Or when someone wins an Academy Award, it felt like someone won a movie award. And I loved it, bro. The music was perfect for it. Right now, Ariana Grace from NXT and Toni Storm, Toni Storm, might have the 2 best gimmicks going on right now. Or 2 of the best. Because I do like Julia Hart's gimmick. I like Julia Hart's gimmick a lot. There is something about the way these 2 gimmicks are just magical right now. They're just magical right now. And who would have known, like in 2023, there was a place for this? Because, beauty pageants aren't as popular as they used to be. You know what I mean? Obviously, we're almost like, 80 years removed from the 1950s movie scene. I mean, who would have known it would work here in the 2020s. Who would have known? Who would have known? And that's why it's perfect. That's why it's perfect. Because it's telling you, maybe this stuff still works, man. But we haven't put too much detailed attention to it, man. And, wow, I mean, it was great. And because it wasn't serious, it wouldn't make you cry. But it almost made you want to cry a little bit because the music was perfect for it. It made it feel bigger than what it was, her winning that title. It was great. It was great. It was great. It was on the Hollywood stage. That was perfect. The fans wanted Toni to win. It was great. It was great. And that's the one thing that you have with this gimmick. The fans love it. That's the thing. That's what makes it go. Is that the fans love the gimmick, bro. But let's go over the poll. I had 523 votes for this poll. My bad. We're gonna, my bad. Yeah. Let me go to the match. Hold up. Okay, so we had 688 votes, 42 likes, and this was one of the most even polls I've had all year. One of the most even polls. Hikaru Shida had 56%. She did lead. I think a lot of people felt like early on that Hikaru Shida was going to win. So those early voters probably influenced how this poll shaped out. But Toni Storm has 44%. That's almost 50% right there. That was a close poll right there. That was a really close poll. And another poll I want y'all to take part in is this one as well. So this one has 523 votes, 35 likes, right? So this poll right here is basically asking you guys, which title run are you looking most forward to? Right now, man, Toni Storm is way out in front at 76%. Julia Hart's reign, I'm going to go over that a little bit later as well, 24%. So keep voting in that one, guys. Make sure y'all go to my community tab to find that poll and keep voting, because I'm actually, maybe in a couple of weeks, I'm going to go over the results again and I'm going to see where that poll is at. I'm hoping to get like 800, 900 votes on. Maybe if we could get to 1,000, that'd be cool, because we're halfway there. So let's see how that goes. But thank y'all for voting in those polls. To close this out, this gimmick right here, and this Mariah May thing is going to be great for this. It's going to be great for this. And we're going to go over that in the next video. The Mariah May tie-in. Because right now, the AEW Women's Division, with what happened with Julia Hart as well, they're starting to thrive. And I'm not... Now, Knockouts division is still the best division in my opinion, but NXT's Women's Division is just like right there on their heels, bro. It's been like that probably the last year or two. But NXT has really made a lot of strides in the past year, bro, in that Women's Division. I think WWE has gone down a little bit. I think they're going down, man. I really think their Women's Division just isn't as exciting as it was. They got a lot. I think the problem with them, their booking over there is kind of dry right now. It's not a lot of excitement going on the main roster. It's not. I think they got the worst Women's Division right now because AEW has taken it up quite a few notches. They got the champions that people are interested in, and they've also got characters that people are starting to invest in now. Because I'm going to tell you what, just early this year, when the Outcast first formed, this Women's Division was dead in the water outside of Jamie Hayter. This Women's Division was dead, bro. And they're doing all of this with Jamie Hayter out and Britt Baker out, by the way, which is crazy. I think they've turned the corner, man. And Jay Cargill. I forgot about Jay Cargill. They're doing all of this without those three girls there, bro. So, like I said, sometimes it takes time. It takes time, man. But let's get to Mariah May, because I think that this might be like this probably going to end up being like a 20-minute video, bro. It is for a recap. So I'm definitely going to make the Mariah May video a lot more shorter than this, man. So let's get over to Mariah May. Give me your thoughts on this, man. Yeah, we're going to get ready to talk about Julia Hart as well in the video after that. So make sure y'all go to that one as well. But go ahead and get this video like, share, subscribe, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Afternoon, still like.